DeWanna Bonner is an absolute legend of the game, a champion, a veteran, a name that commands respect the moment it's mentioned in basketball circles, which is exactly why what happened in Indiana feels so shocking, so personal, and for many fans, unforgivable. DeWanna Bonner didn't simply leave the Indiana Fever, she detonated the trust of an entire fan base in slow motion, behind silence, ambiguity, and a final message that felt less like honesty and more like a calculated mic drop. For weeks, her absence was wrapped in uncertainty. No updates, no explanations, just silence. Fans feared the worst. They assumed something serious had happened. They offered patience, compassion, and unwavering support. But when Bonner finally broke that silence, she didn't bring clarity. She didn't bring accountability. What she brought instead was a statement that reframed everything and left Fever fans stunned, betrayed, and furious. This wasn't just a player changing teams. This was a leader rejecting her responsibility, her locker room, and the promise she made when she signed. When the Indiana Fever signed DeWanna Bonner, it wasn't treated like an ordinary roster move. It was a declaration. The franchise wasn't rebuilding anymore. It was competing. Bonner wasn't brought in to be a role player or a bench scorer. She was supposed to be the final piece, a battle-tested veteran with championships, all-star appearances, and more than a decade of experience. She was there to stabilize the locker room, guide a young core, and show them how to win when the pressure mattered most. The timing made it feel perfect. Caitlin Clark was the generational rookie carrying the spotlight, the energy, and the expectations. Bonner was supposed to be the wisdom, the calm voice, the mentor who had been through it all. The pairing felt poetic, the future of the league standing next to one of its most respected veterans. Fans bought in immediately. Social media flooded with welcome messages, jerseys sold fast. The belief was real. This was the moment the Fever turned potential into legitimacy. In interviews, Bonner said exactly what fans wanted to hear. She talked about being a puzzle piece, about leadership, about passing the torch. She spoke about helping young players grow so that when she retired, they could carry it forward. Her tone was humble and reassuring, almost maternal. She praised the Fever's young core, acknowledged that they didn't need to be micromanaged, and positioned herself as someone who would make the game easier for them while they did the same for her. Everything about her words suggested commitment, stability, intent. At first, it felt genuine. Teammates respected her presence. Caitlin Clark openly spoke about admiring her. The locker room looked balanced. Fans believed they had found the bridge between promise and contention. Bonner wasn't just another veteran. She was supposed to be the leader, the one who held things together when adversity hit. And for a franchise rebuilding itself around a generational rookie, that role mattered more than anything. Which is why what happened next felt like whiplash. The cracks didn't appear in headlines or press conferences. They showed up quietly in the box score. Bonner didn't just struggle early, she fell off a cliff. Her production dropped sharply, from averaging around 15 points per game the previous season to barely scraping 7. For a player of her caliber, this wasn't just a cold streak, it was alarming. And it wasn't only the numbers. The energy felt off. The chemistry didn't click. The Fever didn't look like a team rising together. They looked disjointed, unsure, and frustrated. Every night felt different. Lineups shifted, roles changed. There was no clear identity. Analysts started asking uncomfortable questions. Was Bonner the wrong fit for this fast, young roster? Did the coaching staff have a real plan to integrate her? Or had the front office miscalculated entirely? Instead of being the stabilizing force, Bonner became the face of the inconsistency. And as younger players like Lexi Hull began gaining momentum, the narrative shifted. Bonner wasn't just struggling, she was losing her grip on a starting role. And in professional sports, when production drops and chemistry erodes, respect follows. Slowly at first, then visibly. The leadership she was brought in to provide never materialized. The grace she was given started to run thin. Then, without warning, DeWanna Bonner disappeared. 9 games into the season, the Indiana Fever announced that Bonner would be out for personal reasons. No details, no injury, no timeline, just silence. The timing raised eyebrows immediately. Her absence began the same night Caitlin Clark returned from her brief injury stint, a game that should have been a celebration. Instead, it marked the beginning of a strange and unsettling void. At first, fans responded with empathy. The WNBA community is tight-knit, and Bonner had always kept her personal life private. People assumed something serious was happening. They defended her. They asked others to be patient. They sent prayers. The fan base rallied behind her with genuine concern. But silence has an expiration date. Days turned into weeks. Games passed. Still nothing. No sightings at practice, no statements, no social media acknowledgement. Coach Stephanie White offered vague answers, saying Bonner was doing well and that things were day-to-day. That wasn't enough. In modern sports, silence breeds speculation, and this silence was deafening. Fans began noticing details they couldn't ignore. Bonner deleted Fever-related content from her Instagram. Her banner reportedly disappeared from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The team store stopped fulfilling orders for her jersey. Rumors escalated. Was she sick? Was there a family emergency? Was there internal conflict? What started as concern slowly turned into suspicion. Then came the Instagram post. Weeks of silence were broken not with an update, not with reassurance, not even with a vague message of reflection. Instead, on the night of a Fever game, while she was still officially out for personal reasons and still being paid, Bonner casually posted on Instagram. No mention of basketball, no acknowledgement of the team, no context, just a carefree post as if nothing was happening. That moment flipped everything. In isolation, an Instagram post means nothing, but context is everything. Bonner had gone completely dark for weeks. Fans had defended her. Teammates had carried on without her. And then she resurfaced like this, during a live game, without explanation. It felt dismissive, like a slap in the face to fans who bought her jersey, to teammates grinding through the season, to an organization that trusted her. That post shattered the illusion that something serious was keeping her away. It sent a loud message without saying a word. She had checked out. And then the truth finally surfaced. Not from Bonner herself, but from insiders. According to Annie Constable of Front Office Sports, a credible league reporter, DeWanna Bonner had no intention of returning to the Indiana Fever. She was actively seeking a move to either the Phoenix Mercury or the Atlanta Dream. Suddenly, everything made sense. The silence, the disappearance, the social media purge, it wasn't confusion, it was strategy. What made it worse was what didn't happen next. No denial, no clarification, no pushback from her camp. When Coach Stephanie White was asked directly, she deflected, saying she was focused on the group we have here. In professional sports, silence is confirmation, and fans understood exactly what it meant. Bonner wasn't dealing with a crisis, she was orchestrating an exit. Reports went even further, painting an uglier picture. According to multiple sources, Bonner was furious about being benched. She expected to start. She expected to anchor the team. But as her production dipped and younger players earned more minutes, frustration set in. Instead of adapting, instead of embracing a mentorship role, Bonner disengaged. She didn't want to come off the bench. She didn't want to be secondary. And she didn't want to exist in Caitlin Clark's spotlight. Insiders described a shift in locker room energy. What was supposed to be leadership turned into resentment, then silence. Some pointed to the influence of her longtime partner, Alyssa Thomas, who had previously criticized Indiana's fan base. Whether that played a role or not, the result was the same. Bonner didn't fight through adversity. She ghosted the team and planned her escape. And when she finally spoke, weeks later, it wasn't with remorse, it was with a sentence that changed everything. I played to win, and sometimes winning means walking away from what doesn't fit. No apology, no mention of the Fever, no acknowledgement of fans or teammates, just a cold, calculated statement. Fans heard it clearly. She wasn't coming back because she didn't want to. That sentence erased whatever goodwill remained. Leadership, it turns out, was conditional. For a young team, the damage was real. For Caitlin Clark, who openly said she wanted to win a ring for Bonner, the betrayal was visible. The joy was gone, the rhythm was off. Now we know why. Dana Bonner came to Indiana promising leadership